Reeves Immigration Law Group now brings you Immigration Law on Your Side.
Magandang gabi mga kababayan. Welcome to another Immigration Law on Your Side on PHLV Radio. And napakabilis ng panahon, August na mga kababayan. And siguro isang taon na lang makakarinig na tayo ng mga Christmas songs dito sa PHLV Radio. Exciting, di ba mga kababayan? And as exciting is itong immigration. Marami tayong mga updates ngayon. Kaya kasama na naman po natin ngayon dito sa Immigration Law on Your Side. Hatid po sa atin ng Reeves Immigration Law Group. Si Attorney Flomi Javier Diza coming from the Bay Area. Magandang gabi po sa iyo, Attorney.
Magandang gabi, Johan, at always a pleasure to be here. At nasabi mo nga, August na tayo, no? First week of August. And if you come to think about it, we're going 5 months na yata tayo since nagkaroon tayo ng quarantine, shelter in place, or yung pag-stay at home, working from home. So, mabilis ang panahon. At sana po sa lahat ng mga viewers and listeners natin, you are all well, staying healthy and staying safe.
Mm-hmm. At nami-miss na namin kayo dito, Attorney, sa Las Vegas.
Sana malapit na, no?
Sana malapit na makabalik po kayo uli dito. Yes, makatravel sa ating studio dito sa PHLV Radio. So, Attorney, I think we want to kick off this episode, itong program natin ngayon, mga kaibigan. Today is the 5th of August. And narito po ang mga updates galing kay Attorney Diza. Kumusta po, Attorney, ang USCIS ngayon? What's happening out there? Are they conducting itong mga naturalization interviews? Meron bang mga oath-taking?
Yes.
What's going on right now?
Yes, ang USCIS actually nagkaroon na ng gradual reopening, and they are also observing protocols, yung social distancing, and yung capacity ng kanilang mga interviews very limited lang din. And in fact, they allow attorneys to appear or to represent their clients through telephone, which is a good thing. At ang inuuna nila dahil mag-election is syempre yung naturalization interviews or yung naturalization oath-taking ceremony. So tuloy-tuloy po yan. At saka yung mga fingerprinting, nag-open na rin sila. So yung mga kababayan natin na may pending applications at naghintay po kayo ng approval ng inyong work authorization, hindi yan na-approve until siyempre magkaroon kayo ng biometrics or fingerprints, they are already conducting in-person fingerprinting. Doon sa adjustment of status, wala pa tayong mga updates dyan. As they mentioned noon, siguro mid of August, they'll start conducting those. With regard to immigration courts, karamihan pa rin ay sarado. Every week or every 2 weeks nag-update sila. And most immigration courts, yung mga non-detained, remained closed until August 21. So, watch out for it. Kung may mga immigration appearances po kayo, right? Check with your attorneys or check with immigration courts kung kailan po sila mag-open. Kasi every jurisdiction have different policies. Now, with regard to the U.S. embassies naman worldwide, most embassies, including the Philippines, hindi pa po nagbubukas. Di ba? So, yung mga naghihintay po ng mga interview appointments or yung mga medical appointments, siyempre wala pa yan dahil wala pa ngang sarado pa ang U.S. embassies. Even those people who are trying to apply for non-immigrant visa, kagaya ng tourist visa extension or first-time application, yung mga yung mga student visa sa embassy, wala pa ho dahil sarado, right? At in place pa rin ho yung tinatawag natin suspension of entry of immigrants into the US. So, yung recent policy memo ng ating Pangulo that suspends the entry of immigrants at saka yung mga H-1Bs or other workers are still in place until December 31. So, wala pa hong injunction yan. Now, since napag-usapan na lang naman natin, Kuya, ang US Embassy ng Manila, recently din, ang Pilipinas, ang National Capital Region, kasama dyan ang nearby provinces, bumabalik sila ngayon doon sa modified enhanced community quarantine. That started August 4 and will end August 18. So, may mga restriction ng movement din ng mga tao dyan, kagaya, very important, siyempre mga domestic flights. So, may mga suspended niyan.
Mukhang umaatras. Imbes na umaabante, ngayon ay umatras na naman.
Yeah, yung second wave kasi din nakakatakot, di ba? So hindi natin alam, at saka yung siyempre yung ating mga healthcare workers ayaw natin ma-overwhelm sila, at siyempre mahirap din kung pati healthcare workers natin maapektuhan. So we are hoping that with the restrictions, maiwasan natin yung pagdami ng mga infections.
Mhm. Well, both in the Philippines and here, home base also. At dito din sa Amerika ay nandyan pa rin ang ating invisible enemy.
Yeah,
At,
kumusta ba ang casino dyan, Kuya Yo?
well, first of all, namimiss ka na ng mga casino dito.
Baka magde-deposit. No?
Well, isa sa mga kaibigan natin, mga kasama natin sa PHLV Radio, nagtatrabaho sa isang casino dito, and palagi niya tayong ina-update, si Kuya Jay, at sinasabi niya na lahat ng mga pumapasok ay talagang tine-check nila ang temperature, and they're still requiring, of course, the masks, the facial coverings, pero hindi ba iwasan na talagang merong mga konting mga iba na ayaw sumunod. So in the meantime, over the past few weeks, nakakakita ng daily increase ang Clark County dito sa Nevada. Gayon pa man, attorney, ang mundo ng immigration ay patuloy pa rin na umaandar. Katulad ng nabalitaan natin just last week na yung on July 29th, actually, when the U.S. District Court of Southern District of New York enjoined the government from enforcing, applying, implementing, or treating as effective the USCIS final rule on inadmissibility on public charge grounds. Napag-usapan natin ito, mga kababayan, a few episodes ago. So ano po, attorney, ang ibig sabihin nito ng balitang ito?
Magandang balita actually to, Kuya Yo, dahil napakabigat itong public charge. That may be a ground for denial ng application for green card ng mga kababayan natin kung at one time they ask for government assistance or what we call public benefits.
Tama, attorney. Remind us on what the public charge is all about.
Yes, before one can obtain a green card, Kuya Yo, at sa mga listeners natin, one has to prove that yung applicant will not become a public charge, meaning hindi yan magre-rely sa government assistance, sa financial assistance, para mabuhay. So mayroon tinatawag na affidavit support. In the past, yun lang ang kailangan, di ba? So yung petitioner, since siya yung nagpe-petition dun sa immigrant, kailan ma-execute siya ng affidavit support showing that the applicant will not become a public charge. So even if the petitioner, let's say may edad na, retired na, walang income, pwedeng kumuha ng joint sponsor as long as that sponsor is over 18, U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident, may income, and willing to execute an affidavit support, and that's all good enough, right? So parang sinasabi mo lang, i-sponsor kita, kaya lang kapag hinabol ka ng gobyerno, ang habulin siyempre yung petitioner, at kung walang petitioner yung judge sponsor, and that's good enough noon. And then nagkaroon itong public charge determination. Sabi nila na you have to show that hindi ka huminga ng public charge in the last 24 months, di ba? Ito yung checklist natin, food stamp, medical, long-term, care, yung mga ganon, bawal yon. Or kung nagkaroon ka man ng ganon, kailangan mo i-prove na ngayon, you'll not be a public charge, and also the totality of circumstances. And if you remember yung lengthy discussion natin about the public charge, maraming mga documentation ang kailangan, di ba? So aside from the affidavit support, ngayon mayroong yung tinatawag na self-sufficiency. Kailangan mong i-declare lahat yun, kung magkano ang credit score mo bilang aplikante, anong credit score ng asawa mo, nag-file ka ba ng bankruptcy, magkano ba ang income mo magkano ba ang pera mo sa bangko. Ang daming documentation po yun, and that would delay yung processing ng case, and also more work sa immigration attorneys. So yun more documentation from the applicants that, as I said, would tremendously cause a delay in filing, dahil kailangan natin yung mga documentation na yun eh. So good enough nagkaroon ng injunction, and even if the decision was in New York, ang injunction na yan applies nationwide, which is a good thing dahil hindi lang ito sa New York kundi nationwide yan. And the good thing is that nagkaroon na rin ito ng memo ang USCIS saying that yung mga magpa-file ng kanilang green card or mag-adjust ng status sa US, hindi na kailangan mag-file pa ng self-sufficiency form and mag-submit ng required documents doon sa self-sufficiency form na yan. So malaking bagay yan, and as we mentioned, immigration is revolving, it's fluid, it's always changing. So mga kababayan natin, it's always a good idea to consult an immigration attorney when you file an application, dahil hindi po natin alam kung ano yung existing law, at the time you file. So it's a good idea, and the good thing is meron po tayong programa dito sa PHLV Radio every week para po i-update po kayo kung ano yung nangyayari sa mundo ng immigration. Yes.
And these injunctions, attorney, these are valid ngayong during this pandemic lang, attorney?
Yes, during this pandemic, and of course until, siyempre, and we don't know when it's gonna last, right? Until siguro i-overturn siya ng higher court, right? O magkaroon ng additional memo ng ating current administration. But as of now, everyone or anyone who's filing for green card application, hindi na kailangan submit ng public charge or self-sufficiency forms and documents.
Maisingin ko lang, attorney, meron ditong isang nagtanong sa atin regarding the public charge. Kasama dito, attorney, yung health insurance, that you will not be availing of public benefits in terms of medical?
Yung sa medical, kasama kung long-term aid or Medicare or medical, kasama dyan. In fact, I think ang medical hindi available yan sa mga out of status, right, or wala pang papel. Usually what I tell my clients is that if you are married to a citizen, right, at may mga anak na po kayo, of course these children, they are US citizen, they are entitled to medical. But I think generally, Kuya Yo, ang mga aplikante hindi sila eligible ng medical or even Medicare, kasi this only apply for, alam mo na, yung may mga status or may mga social security or may mga papel.
Right. Kaya mga kaibigan, kamukha ng nabanggit ni attorney, maganda pong kumonsulta ngayon sa ating mga immigration lawyers. And maisingit ko lang, attorney, right at the start of the program right now, is that ang Reeves Immigration Law Group, mga kaibigan, ang kanilang number 1-800-795-8009. As of this time, attorney, pwede pa rin po ba silang tumawag sa inyo? And do you still have the free consultation?
Yes, Kuya Yo, and not only free consultation, we can do like what we're doing right now. It's Zoom or telephone. We don't accept clients coming to our office yet, but as you mentioned, it's free consultation to any of our immigration specialists or immigration experts, immigration attorneys. If you mention PHLV Radio sa inyo pong, pag nag-set po kayo ng consultation, we'll give you further discount. Para lang po mabigyan po natin kayo ng magandang deal kung meron po kayong kaso na ipa-file.
Wonderful. Maraming salamat, attorney. And it's a great service to our community, not only to our kababayans, but to everyone, to all the clients and to all the citizens, of course, who would like to seek your expertise sa Reeves Immigration Law Group. www.rreeves.com, mga kababayan, ang kanilang
aside from the
website.
Kuya Yo, which we update ang mga, yung mga breaking news or mga recent updates ng USCIS, we also have a what do you call this, a social media platforms, kasama dyan ang Facebook, ang Reeves Immigration Law Group. I also update my own Facebook page on FJD sa Reeves Immigration Law Group, and may mga several rin kayo, you can follow us on Twitter, just click in yung Reeves Immigration Law Group. We have also Instagram. So lahat ng mga social media, try to follow us. Kasama na rin ang PHLV Radio para po ma-update tayo sa lahat ng mga gawain ginagawa natin araw-araw.
Akala ko, attorney, babanggitin nyo yung TikTok.
Ay, nabasa ko nga hapon, Kuya, yung how to what do you call this, manage and how to this pandemic time, sa mga immigration lawyers, how to come up with, your name to the public, and sa mga banggit nila, even TikTok, I was surprised, pwede rin palang gamitin ang TikTok para sa pag-advertise or, para malaman yung practice mo sa bilang immigration. And I think some immigration attorneys are jumping into, the TikTok mania. So anyway,
Anyway, attorney, speaking about free consultation or discounts, pag-usapan natin after the break, attorney, itong mukhang hindi pwedeng malibre at hindi pwedeng ma-discountan itong mga filing fees sa USCIS. And ng balita ko ay medyo nag-increase, mga kababayan, ang ating mga filing fees for many things, especially yung kung mag-a-apply po kayo ng citizenship, naturalization, medyo tumaas ang filing fee. So sa pagbabalik po, mga kaibigan, ng Reeves Immigration Law Group's Immigration Law on Your Side, tatangin na natin si attorney kung makaka-discount ba tayo sa USCIS o kung ano ang ating magagawa sa itong pag-increase ng mga filing fees. Sa pagbabalik po ng Immigration Law on Your Side, right here at PHLV Radio.
Reeves Immigration Law Group has been representing immigrants for nearly 40 years. Reeves Immigration Law Group has been fighting for its clients through experience and expertise. With immigration lawyers, you can access at reasonable fees, even on Saturday. Payment plans are also available. Call us for your immigration solutions. We can do worldwide telephone and Skype consultations. Reeves Immigration Law Group, 1-800-795-8009. Reeves Immigration Law Group has offices in Los Angeles, San Francisco, China, and Philippines. See us at www.rreeves.com. Reeves Immigration Law Group, 1-800-795-8009.
Mga kababayan, nagbabalik po ang Immigration Law on Your Side right here at PHLV Radio. Mga kaibigan, i-share po ang programang ito sa inyong mga social media platforms, sa inyong mga profiles, sa inyong mga feeds, mga news feeds, para po naman ma-share natin sa ating mga kababayan ang information na ibinibigay po sa atin ni Attorney Flo Mediza. And pag sinare nyo po, paki-hashtag na lang po na Immigration Law on Your Side para madaling mahanap ng ating mga kababayan. Mga kaibigan, one thing for sure is ang change. For better or for worse, magkakaroon ng change, especially sa immigration. And katulad ng mga nabanggit nating balita kanina, nagkaroon na ng mga pagbabago, mga bagong injunctions and everything else. Isa sa mga pagbabago ngayong taon, mga kababayan, effective October 2nd, 2020, ang pagtataas po ng ilang filing fees sa USCIS. So babalik po si Attorney Flo Mediza. Attorney, nandito tayo ngayon sa increase ng filing fees ng USCIS. Alin pong mga filing ang medyo tumaas ang presyo?
Yes, mahirap pag-usapan ang pagtaas ng mga filing fees, Kuya Yo. Lalong-lalo yung pandemic, hindi naman tumataas ang sweldo karamihan. In fact, marami ang nawawalan ng trabaho or nagkakaroon ng furlough or alam mo yun, nababawasan ang salary like 10%, just to get by, lalo ng mga businesses, small businesses, But we have to face the reality that there is going to be an increase in the filing fees. In fact, itong salary increase, itong filing fee increase ay napag-uusapan na even before the pandemic, but I think nagkaroon ng konting suspension yan. But now, it's a reality that we are seeing here na magkakaroon na ng increase as of October 2, So yung mga kababayan natin na hindi pa nagpa-file, wag niyo nang isipin pang magdalawang isip, na i-file yung inyong application. Mapa-citizenship yan, naturalization yan, application for green card yan, or petitioning family members. I-file na ninyo ngayon because we have August to October, or 2 months, to prepare and to file kasi wala namang retroactive effect yan, di ba? So, as of now, pwede pa niyong gamitin yung old filing fees. So, yun ang una kong advice po sa inyo, take advantage of that kasi lalong-lalo na sa citizenship na nabanggit natin, Kuya Yo, from 750, magiging 1,160. So, an increase of about 83%. So, malaking bagay yan. At hindi lang yun, yung asylum din na ang dami mga nag-a-apply noon, na, libre lang yan kasi noon, ngayon nagbigay sila ng $50. And in fact, if you remember one of our discussions noon sa ating sa ating updates, di ba? They're going to follow ang USCIS employees effective August 3 dahil nawawalan daw sila ng walang funds. But I think part of this, of course, is to to increase the filing fees kasi service fees ang mga members or mga official ng USCIS, di ba? So anyway, that's for sure. And then yung adjustment of status application, if you are in the US, right? If you marry a US citizen at kayo po'y mag-file ng green card nyo at kasama dyan noon ang work authorization, advance parole. Yung advance parole is for you, authorizing you to go out of the US or let's say visit your family in the Philippines while pending po ang green card, no? Yung green card application, work authorization, and advance parole, kasama po yan, 1,225 lang noon. Ngayon parang nawala yung bundle, di ba? So ngayon ito yung what do you call this? Yung adjustment of status filing fee mo, which is 1,200 plus, and then yung work authorization mo is another 500. Yung advance parole is another 500. So instead na magbabayad ka lang ng 1,225 noon, magiging 2,000 plus na. So sayang din yon kasi nga yung work permit mo and advance parole mo may additional fees na yan. So isa sa mga increase din yan. Now the other increases may mga bumaba ng konti but very minimal. But most of the filing fees medyo malaki ang pagtaas from siguro negative 2% to up to mga 90% ang increase ng mga fees. So mga kababayan natin, kung ano man yung application na gusto niyo i-file before October 2, tignan po ninyo ang what do you call this fee increase, no, sa uscis.gov no website para makita po ninyo kung gaano kalaki, gaano po kung magkano po ang matitipid ninyo kung i-file na po ninyo ang application before October 2.
Malaking tama nga ito, attorney, sa ating mga kababayan, especially those who are in the Philippines. Does this include also yung mga fees abroad, yung mga nasa embassy, on the embassy side?
Yung sa petition, Kuya Yo, yes. Pero usually yan yung petition na babayad dito. Di ba? So let's say petition mo yung anak mo na sa Pilipinas, yung I-130 petition o yung fiancé petition, kasama sa increase yan. Pero yung sa Department of State na mga fees, like immigrant visa, wala pa hong advisory. Hindi po kasama. So yung mga immigrant visa, let's say na-approve yung petition and you continue processing your case with the National Visa Center, pareho pa rin po yun. Yung affidavit support na 125 and then yung immigrant visa po is 325. That's going to be each po yun sa each applicant. So yung principal beneficiary, yung tatay at yung asawa, separate yun, 325 pa rin. So as of now, ang Department of State fees remain the same.
Mm-hmm. So, attorney, although nandito tayo sa gitna nitong balita na wala ngang makakarating muna dito, until the end of the year, as you've outlined on the previous episodes, that processing has not stopped. So, nandito pa rin yung mga pag-file and everything. So, would you advise our kababayan na, sige, ituloy na talagang kung kailangang i-apply din lang naman yan ngayon na, bago pa tumaas ang presyo, ano?
That's really a good point, Kuya. Yes, I strongly suggest and recommend na kung may mga petitionin pa kayo, do it now dahil kahit sabi mong nakasara or suspended pa ang entry of immigrants, nakapila ka na. So, you could just imagine people rushing into filing pag nag-open, di ba?
Oh, yes.
So, siyempre, unahin pa rin yung mga unang nag-file na. So, at least nasa gate ka na, di ba? For the interview, pag nag-reopen. So definitely strongly recommended po tayo na kahit sarado pa ang in-house or may gradual reopening or mabagal kumilos ang USCIS, the thing is merong processing time po mga applications. So once you file it, naghintay na lang po kayo ng time para ma-approve at maging current po yung petition po ninyo.
Nako, magandang update yan, attorney. And mga kababayan, this episode is being aired today, the 5th of August, for the first time here at PHLV Radio. If you're watching some reruns or on demand on this radio station and all our platforms, itong mga information po ito, mga kaibigan, is current as of August 5th, 2020. And ako po, mga kaibigan, nandito sa PHLV Radio Studio sa Las Vegas. Ang ating kaibigan si Attorney Flomy Javier Diza ay nandun po sa Bay Area at meron din po opisina ang ating Reeves Immigration Law Group doon sa San Francisco area. And mga kababayan, para sa ating mga late tuners, maraming salamat po and welcome to Immigration Law on Your Side. Hatid po sa inyo ng Immigration Law, ng Reeves Immigration Law Group. And meron po silang opisina sa Los Angeles, San Francisco, Philippines, and China. And attorney, napag-usapan natin yung mga application, tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang pag-apply. And in the application process, sometimes if we are ill-advised on things that we put on our application, or talagang meron tayong intention to commit fraud or misrepresent something in our filing sa application ng visa or any other immigration related application, ano po ba, attorney, ang batas regarding dito? What is the effect of committing fraud or misrepresentation in obtaining a visa or filing an application?
Yes, this is very timely, Kuya Yo, dahil marami sa mga kababayan natin na pumasok dito sa US, right, using a different name, right, or using someone else's identity, or maybe sa kanila when they applied for a tourist visa sa Pilipinas, nag-submit sila ng mga fake documents, right? So they were saying that I am married, and I own a business, right? Or I have children, para lang ma-increase yung chance to get a tourist visa. So usually that constitute fraud or misrepresentation in applying for a visa or immigration benefits. So what is fraud or misrepresentation? That's when someone else submit a fraudulent documents, right, in order to obtain immigration benefits. Had not of the fraud or misrepresentation, Kuya Yo, yung consular officer will not issue you a visa. Diba? So kung nalaman yung single ka, yung pala, nalaman single, hindi bibigay. Most likely hindi bibigay sa iyo ang visa. Kasi parang sinasabi, married ako, may 3 anak, may magandang business ako. Right? So, or siyempre yung pag-file mo rin ng ibang identity na hindi naman ikaw yung taong yon. Now, when people enter the US with that kind of visa, yung fraud or misrepresentation, and they eventually, want to apply for a green card, right? That then becomes relevant, right? So, sasabihin ng immigration, you committed fraud. So, paano ngayon yan? So, maraming nagtatanong sa atin, pwede pa ba akong mag-green card? Pwede pa ba akong bumalik sa aking identity? Sa mga kababayan natin, I advise them to go back to your own name, once you enter the US. Kasi may mga kababayan natin, Kuya Yo, na 20 years na yung pa rin ginamit na pangalan, yung fake name pa rin. And then, continues to use the fake name, and then until such time na gusto nung dalhin yung family, hindi na pwede dahil na-stuck na siya doon o napakahirap ng i-fix, ang problema. But anyway, so once that person, seek to obtain an adjustment of status, USCIS would say you are inadmissible. Inadmissible in the sense that, you committed fraud. But it's not the end of the world, sa mga kababayan natin, you have to prove under the Immigration and Nationality Act, right, that person or ng aplikante ay mayroong qualifying relative who would suffer extreme hardship, right, para lang mabigyan siya ng visa. So in other words, parang humingi siya ng tawad, right? So ito, aminin ko, gumamit ako ng ibang pangalan when I entered the US in 2001, under a different name, right? But I'm married now to US citizen, and my spouse would suffer extreme hardship kung ako yung madideport. So yun ang sasabihin niya to cure yung kanyang misrepresentation. So may paraan, and this fraud or misrepresentation is one of the most common problems ng ating mga kababayan.
Mm-hmm. And usually ba, attorney, anong klaseng mga applications usually nagkakaroon ng, nat-attempt ang ating mga kababayan na mag-commit ng fraud? Yung tourist visa ba? Or, para makapasyal sa Amerika? O sige, maglagay ako ng ganyan.
Marami yan example, classic example yan, Kuya Yo, is yung tourist visa. Sometimes they apply under their own name, sabi ng consul, wala, I will not give it to you. Dahil siyempre, let's say, ang business hindi malaki, But then, may mga agency silang nilapitan, they were tempted to pay, and I don't recommend this actually. the agency to handle the process, and nag-submit sila ng mga either different birth certificate, different passport, or even submission of a bank accounts at one time, sasabihin na I have a business here, meron akong small grocery, or I have a Shell or Caltex, gasoline station, but those are not accurate. I mean, ngayon, I don't know if how easy for the embassy to detect, yung mga fraud na yan. Dahil dati may mga recto yan, di ba? Yung mga fake diploma, fake marriage certificate, fake business license and everything. So I'm not sure kung andun pa sila. But there are ways now for the embassy to detect. But of course, with the high tech and everything, people are very creative. So that's number one. Using someone else's identity or augmenting yung kanilang qualifications para lang ma-issue ang kanilang tourist visa. And remember, Kuya Yo, immigration or consular officer would only issue a tourist visa if you show that you have strong ties sa Pilipinas, di ba? So ties meaning may pamilya ka, meron kang business, meron kang trabaho, meron kang income, meron kang properties. So yung mga yung sinasabi na mag-submit sila ng mga properties na hindi naman nag-exist or fake yung kanilang titulo. So that's very common. Or even if when they come here legally under their own real name, they filed something else sa immigration, right? Para lang magkaroon ng work permit, makakuha ng social security. Some of them, like, they filed an asylum na hindi naman tama, right? Para lang makakuha ng work permit na wala namang basis, right? So those are not allowed, or those are, in fact, ngayon, Kuya Yo, ang submission ng asylum fraudulently, for lifetime ban na ang mga applicant if they use asylum to get some immigration benefits. So merong lifetime ban kung frivolous ang application for asylum. But aside from those, let's say nag-file ka rin ng anything application, nag-file ka ng green card at one time, nag-asawa ka ng citizen, nag-file po kayo ng green card, right? And then hindi nyo dineclare na meron pala kayong asawa sa Pilipinas. So wala kang divorce, right? So na-meet mo yung sinasabi mong love of your life, a US citizen, pinailan ka ng green card, right? And only to find out at the interview na, mayroon ka pala asawa sa Pilipinas, may anak ka pala sa Pilipinas, and you obtain immigration benefits by getting that work authorization dahil hindi mo dineclare yung marriage mo sa Pilipinas na walang divorce, di ba? Ibig sabihin, hindi mo divorce yung asawa sa Pilipinas and then you married the US citizen right away. So, syempre, hindi valid yung marriage mo, di ba? Dito sa US citizen, and therefore they will deny your application and might also constitute fraud din dahil you did not declare your actual marital status or prior marital status when you marry, the US citizen. So ito yung common scenarios ng pag-commit ng fraud ng mga kababayan natin. But again, and there were a lot of mistakes. Sometimes a lot of kababayan natin would say, attorney, hindi ko kasalanan to, kasalanan dito, kasalanan ng abogado ko, kasalanan ng paralegal, and I tell my clients, you are educated, right? Alam ng mga Pilipino, nakakaintindi rin ng English. Sometimes I tell them that, look, let's get this done. We have to fix it. There's no point of blaming someone else, even if there's a truth about it. Kailangan i-fix na ito. Aminin mo that you committed a mistake, you committed fraud, you are sorry for it, and you have to show that the spouse, or your parent, pwede rin parent, Kuya Yo, let's say you are taking care of an ailing or old parent who has some medical condition, pwede rin gamitin yon para sa hardship. So ito yung paraan para ma-fix ito. It's going to be a very difficult process, right? Hindi basta-basta makapag-adjust kung meron po kayong grounds of inadmissibility, which is fraud, right? And you have to prove that hardship sa kamag-anak po ninyo before USCIS is convinced to issue you that green card.
Mm-hmm. So well, anyway, fixable pero mahabang proseso. Kaya mga kaibigan, kailangan yung kumonsulta ng mga professionals hinggil sa issue na yan. And this radio program is just giving you information, but of course it does not replace your consultation with the professionals, mga legal advice galing sa mga law groups kamukha ng Reeves Immigration Law Group. Well, attorney, so anyway, maraming salamat po sa mga updates ngayon. And really, as we always say, immigration is very exciting. And we're glad that you're there to walk us through this wonderful world of immigration. And I'm sure in the next few days, magkakaroon na naman ng mga flash reports. And makakaasa po kayo mga kaibigan that Attorney Diza is on it. And he will be updating us. Nandyan po yung kanyang Facebook page, yung FJ Diza, Immigration Attorney, and also sa Reeves Immigration Law Group. And then here at PHLV Radio, we're going to share that kung meron po tayo mga updates, merong mga flash report, kumbaga, attorney. So anyway, attorney, are there any other things that gusto nyo pong maipaabot sa ating mga kababayan in this episode?
Before we end, Kuya Yo, pandagdag lang doon natin sa fraud or misrepresentation. As we mentioned, it's not, as I said, it's not going to be a very easy case. But as you mentioned, it's fixable, right? And consulting an immigration attorney is the key. Even if you read the instructions on how to do it, it's going to be very, very difficult, because it's hard to navigate the process, and you need someone else to walk you and advise you what documentation are needed, right? A detailed declaration, a documentation of the hardship, because the hardship is not going to be a simple hardship. It's going to be an extreme hardship. It's beyond ordinary, right? And of course, you have to also show that the remorse, yung pagkakamali mo tinatanggap mo, right? Hindi yung tipong insist mo pa na it's not your fault, right? And of course, USCIS doesn't like that. You need to admit the mistake and start from there, and correct it. Sa mga kababayan natin mga ganitong sitwasyon, hindi lang sa fraud, Kuya Yo, sa lahat ng immigration applications, marami sa mga immigrants really work really hard. And if you look at it, most of us are working hard, and paying our taxes, doing our contributions, right? And we believe that this is the foundation ng ating economy, our hardworking immigrants. And we are proud to be a part of the process for our clients to get their green card, right? So, but as we mentioned sa mga kababayan natin, we are here to help you. Ang opisina po namin, we have offices in San Francisco and LA area. We have also an office in Makati and in China. So, feel free to contact us dahil karamihan sa mga lahat ng partners ay immigration specialists po ng State Bar of California, and most of our attorneys as well are specialists in other states. We practice immigration worldwide, saan man po kayo sa mundo. We also practice US immigration nationwide. So kahit saan po kayo, sa East, sa West, sa Midwest, right? So we represent people. We do consultation saan man kayo. Very convenient po ang Zoom. Free din to, so take advantage of this one. Maraming salamat Kuya Yo sa being part of our Reeves Immigration Law Group in advocating and educating ang ating public tungkol sa immigration law in the US.
Naku, maraming salamat, Attorney Diza. And I'm sure ang ating opisina dyan sa San Francisco or sa LA area dito sa Amerika, you've gone back to the office, Attorney? I mean, like, gradually?
Physically, 30% ng capacity namin, Kuya Yo, pumapasok na, right? And we work from home 3 to 4 days a week. So nasa office lang kami 1 to 2 days. It's not even the whole day. And we also practice yung protocol, like, we check the temperature, we practice social distancing, we even wear masks sa opisina. Minsan it's very inconvenient, but I think kahit magkakalayo na dahil siyempre hindi lahat puno, di ba? But we still require our staff to wear a mask while in the office kasi may mga cubicles din tayo at wala pa tayong mga clients. So, but we look at, nabanggit mo yung sa Las Vegas din, ang Bay Area, we take the public transport, yung tinatawag na BART, yung sa train, Hindi rin puno, Kuya Yo. So if you look at the BART station, isang tao sa isang upuan na pang dalawahan o pang tatluhan. So that's a good thing din. In the past, I mean, you could just imagine ang Bay Area, Kuya Yo, siksikan parang sardinas.
Oh, yes.
At parang LRT yan or MRT. Pilipinas, ang maganda lang sa Bay Area, malamig ang weather. Kaya okay lang sisiksikan ng mga tao. But now, like as I mentioned, walang nakatayo, isa lang ang tao sa isang upuan, which is a very good thing sa practice ng social distancing, because until now, meron pa rin tayong shelter in place, and of course, we follow. So hopefully, we'll get over this and we are all in this together.
Oh, thank you so much, attorney, and be safe po kayong lahat dyan sa Bay Area. Nagagaling po dito sa mga kaibigan nyo dito sa PHLV Radio sa Las Vegas. So mga kababayan, that was another episode of our Immigration Law on Your Side. Again, Attorney Diza, maraming salamat for your time and for your expertise. And sa lahat po ng mga kaibigan natin from Reeves Immigration Law Group. Nagagaling po sa PHLV Radio Studio dito sa Maryland Parkway sa Las Vegas, Nevada, 3909 South Maryland Parkway, Suite 215, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89119. Kung meron po kayong mga sulat na gusto nyo ipadala, padala nyo lamang po dyan sa address na yan, o kaya naman po sa info@phlvradio.com, o kaya padala sa ating mga kaibigan sa Reeves Immigration Law Group. Ito po si Kuya Yo. Until next time sa ating Immigration Law on Your Side.
Reeves Immigration Law Group has just brought you Immigration Law on Your Side. Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Pacific on PHLV Radio.